This is our second video covering early Kingdom Hearts 2 fan theories. If you haven't watched part 1, it's definitely recommended you check that out first. We previously went over forum posts about Naminé and BHK, so today we'll be covering the other mysteries looming about the KH community of 2005. With that said, let's begin today with RHG. Well, I'd say most people thought that the red-haired girl from the KH1 secret movie was without a doubt Kairi. And while the majority of the community agreed that it was Kairi, there was still a 23-page RHG thread discussing the identity of this character. The forum posts were mostly people agreeing with this user here, Zedro, and his analysis of RHG wearing what appeared to be a school uniform. Then some other folks like Starry-Eyed Hero claimed that Zedro's evidence sucked, and while they personally thought RHG was Kairi, it was impossible to claim that it was her without any doubt. But then you have some dark horses like Nemesis, who said, "I still don't think it's her. I just don't have any proof to prove otherwise. Plus, as for it being a year, it's still odd she has the most change, and I do mean most, over anyone else." Then people replied to Nemesis like, "You have to be smoking some serious crack if you can't see it's Kairi." And with that, it was case closed. Okay, so why is Riku wearing a blindfold? Twilight Riku 146 suggested that Riku wore a blindfold to enhance his training. Number 12_Larxene countered, "Well, my friend told me he was blindfolded because he was blinded by the light of Kingdom Hearts. Blinded by light clears things up. It can't be true because in Chain of Memories Reverse Rebirth, he could see perfectly, so whatever happened between the end of Chain of Memories and KH2. They then brought up the popular idea that he blindfolded himself to better his sense of smell. Evil_Kenshin concurred. It makes sense he would blindfold himself to hone his senses, like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat and Jarek from Star Wars. Nomura really threw people for a loop with this one. So this fixation on Riku's nose is because, well, check out some scenes from Chain of Memories.
That scent. You're another one of those nobodies. Darkness. It's the smell of darkness. And so are you for reeking of that awful smell!
Now, remember in 2005, Chain of Memories was the most recent Kingdom Hearts game, making it the best indicator of Riku's character after the events of KH1. So, this heavy emphasis on Riku smelling the darkness within people led many fans to believe that this was just now a part of his character. But if you played any other KH game, you would know that Riku is just kinda acting weird here. It's interesting how fans' perception of him has changed since 2005. Alright, next up we have some GEU, or glowing-eyed unknown theories. I should mention that people wearing the organization coats were called unknowns because the secret boss fight of KH1 was called Unknown. Since there were no titles like Organization or Nobodies in the early days, unknowns were what they became known as to most fans. Regarding the identity of GEU, Last Salvation proposed, "I think the glowing eye unknown might be BHK because two reasons. A heartless insignia appeared in Another Side Another Story when BHK was fighting the Neo Shadows, and a sign appeared when the glowing eye unknown walked through the rock in Deep Dive that looked like a heart. It might be some connection. B, BHK gave Oblivion to BFU so he could go see the sitting unknown and BFU could stall the Neo Shadows. I can't explain why he has a glowing eye though." In another thread, Madness stated, "GEU is most likely BHK. Remember that sitting unknown says he looks just like you to him." Others said it was Ansem or Ansem's shell, Riku, or even Xigbar. Now, GEU is rather interesting because he's probably one of the only mysteries that's not been completely revealed, even to this day. We know that GEU did end up being Roxas, but his glowing eye is nowhere to be seen in the final game. As for Nomura's original concept and intentions for GEU, we may never know. Somehow, there's still a lot of theories left to cover, and I don't want to do a part 3, so if you want to hear about the rest of early KH theory craft madness, we'll be covering it in a discussion style video releasing alongside this one. Hope you enjoy.